Okay, let's talk about how to solve math problems, and this is directed towards those of you that think that you're not good in math. So what I'm going to do here is give you some simple suggestions that should make your life much better when dealing with your math homework or your math studies. So this is kind of geared towards anyone in any grade, really, elementary, middle, high school, college, doesn't make a difference. But if you're in some sort of math class and you're struggling, then you're probably, found, the title of this video is something like, oh, wow, this person's going to give me some great tips or like shortcuts and things like that. I don't think that that's what you're really going to be getting from this video, but you are going to learn to where to kind of like focus your energy so you can actually get through your math work and do well in your class. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TabletClass Math. I'm a middle and high school math teacher and been constructing TabletClass for many, many years, do a lot in online education. So if you're interested in knowing more about my program, and I do all various grade levels, various different type of math courses. I'll leave a link in the description of this video. You can check that out if you want. But along with teaching math for many, many years, I've also tutored math. And so a lot of what I've done and helped students individually, I'm talking about several years of experience here, and I've seen the kind of common trends for people who are struggling in math. So let me just give you some big ideas here that are really going to help you out. So the first thing is the following, okay? For those of you that are not good in math, so people not good in math. So if you think that you're not good in math right now, okay, well, that's your current status. That's your kind of opinion of yourself. Right now, most of you be like, yeah, well, I get F's, D's, and C minuses. I barely struggle. I barely can pass a math test. So look, there's proof. I'm terrible at math. So yes, maybe your past track record and current track record in math is not well, but you've built up a lot of math anxiety, fear of math, all that kind of stuff. I can just tell you right now that you have the potential of significantly improving in math. So instead of you thinking you're not good in math, you could say, I'm pretty good in math. So you got to believe that. You got to believe that you can actually learn the material. I'm just telling you right now, whoever's listening to this video, whoever you are, you can make dramatic improvements in learning math. So unless you believe that, okay, then everything else I'm going to talk about here is going to not really count, because what's going to end up happening is, let's kind of go up here. If you're saying, I'm not good at math, okay, I'm not good at math. This is what's in your brain. This is what you're programming yourself. So your brain, okay, is kind of like saying, oh, really? That's the situation? Okay, so let me just produce all these results. I'm messing up, I'm terrible, I don't get it, and you're like, yep, that makes sense because I'm not good at math, and it's kind of a self-perpetuating cycle. So tip number one is that you have to have kind of a different attitude towards learning math or about yourself. So how do you adjust that? Okay, so the first thing is mental. Okay, let's just call it a mental type of change. So how do you change your attitude about your abilities? Well, I would say you need to have a new track record. Okay, so you need to develop a new track record. All right, and what do I mean by that? Well, you got to prove to yourself, look, I got an A on my quiz. Wow, I did all my homework problems correctly. So without a new track record, you're going to continue to go on your old track record of like poor performance. Okay, so here's the thing. You have to start building momentum, but I'm here to tell you as an experienced math teacher that you can dramatically improve. You have to find, a teacher or a program or use all of the above, and so you can help yourself learn math. Hopefully, like for my program, for example, I'm focused on trying to teach math in a really clear and understandable way to help those of you out there that struggle in math, primarily. But I have a lot of people who are great in math that use my program and excel as well. So if your teacher is not, or the program that you're using, maybe you're doing virtual school, online school, but if you're frustrated, well, then you have to find something that works for you. Okay, so you may not have that many options, but like YouTube, for example, this is a YouTube video, and I have many math videos, specifically how to solve various type of math problems on my YouTube channel. If you like my the way I teach, then that's something that you can invest in. But you have to make it an investment in yourself to develop a new track record. If not, you're just going to be, I can't solve math problems. So here you are saying, hey, how to solve math problems, and I'm not good in math. Well, step number one is you have to start believing that you can be good at math, okay? Because if you continue on, you can't solve problems. How are you going to solve problems if you're not good? You follow? So it's kind of like a contradiction in terms. Okay, enough on that. So let's kind of get into some specific things. But this is a huge one, this mental thing, okay? Definitely this is where you want to start. All right, so now let's kind of get into some real specific type of things. So the first thing is the topic. All right, so I'm going to teach you or share with you some of the things that I remember as when I used to tutor students or work with them one-on-one. And so my first question is, oh, hey, what are you working on? And the question would be like, that would be like the response. So I'll repeat that again. Hey, so yeah, I'm happy to help you. Okay, so what are you working on currently? And I usually get the, I don't know. Okay, so if that's your situation, if I ask you, if you're trying to solve whatever math problem you have right now, and I say, okay, what is the topic? What are you currently studying? If you're like, I'm not quite sure. Well, you can't even go beyond even looking at the mechanics of the problem because you don't even know what the topic is. Now, how does that happen? Okay, how is it that you don't know what the topic is? Well, that right there is a focus issue. All right, you're not focusing in class. Why aren't you focusing in class? You know why? Because you don't think you're good at math, right? So if you're not good at math, what's the point? You see, you're like, I'm just trying to get through. I'm not that good at math. So your brain is going to tell you, like, why focus? Because you're not going to be good anyways. You see how this all ties in? So if you don't know what you're studying specifically, and I'm not talking like generally, like, I think we're kind of doing like these quadratic thingamajiggies, or yeah, I think we're kind of like doing this type of thing. Well, that's not good enough. In math, you got to know very specifically what's going on. So, for example, a good response to this, hey, what are you working on? What are you struggling with? Oh, well, I'm learning how to solve linear systems by graphing, and I'm having trouble with that. Oh, okay. Or, yes, we're studying how to graph quadratic equations. Or, yes, we're studying how to factor polynomials by a difference of two squares. Oh, now these are very specific topics that if you do know what's going on, then we can kind of narrow in on that particular topic so you can kind of solve whatever math problems are related to that specific topic. So the first thing is topic. Do you know what the topic is? Now, how would you know? Okay, or how should you be knowing? Well, if you're focusing in on class, you've seen it any other my other videos, your notes are a huge indicator of your focus. So if you're taking great notes in class and your teacher's saying, okay, here's the homework and they're going to be telling you specifically what they want you to learn. So if you want to kind of like, do some self-reflection, how strong are your notes? Okay, because that's an indication of your focus. So let's just kind of stop here. Okay, if you want to start creating a new track record of success, start with your notes. Okay, this is a huge part of learning math. It's such an important, critical part. I'm a big stickler, big believer in note taking because it's almost impossible to fail a math class if you have outstanding notes. So the better your notes are, the more energy and effort you put into creating detailed notes that you understand, and you write down everything with the teacher, you're going to know what's going on, and you're going to know what topic you're studying. Okay, you're going to narrow it down so you can kind of have your bearings. Okay, all right. So let's move on to another main idea, and that is an easy problem. What am I getting at here? All right, so let's assume that you do know what the topic is. So my next question to you is like, all right, great. You're trying to solve this problem. Let's say that particular problem that you're working on is maybe kind of an average or medium or more difficult problem. Can you solve the easier problems of that topic? So let's suppose we're talking about solving a system of equation using the substitution method or graphing quadratic equations. Can you solve like the real easy problems? If you can't even solve an easy problem, then you're going to struggle on the current problem. So you should ask yourself, all right, can I even do the more basic stuff? Now, how can you, like, what's a good way to kind of gauge this? Well, you should have material from class that starts off when your teacher teaches. They start off with the real easy stuff, okay? Here's how most teachers are kind of construct a lesson plan. They'll start off, they'll teach you the easy stuff, and then they'll get into the little more medium level kind of stuff, and then eventually they're going to teach you the advanced stuff. They're never going to not teach you like the easy stuff first, okay? And I mean easy problems, more basic problems. They're going to build you up. So if you can't, you know, like if you're trying to solve a problem, you're like, well, let me kind of go back here. Let's say you're doing your homework and you're on number 33, okay? Well, can you do problems, say number 2, 3, and 4? All right, so like textbooks and things like that, generally speaking, and this is, you know, generally speaking, the problems, you know, as you get from problem, say 1, and it just continues to increase, let's say to problem number 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, all these, as you well know, are going to be the easier stuff, and then number 40, 45, 50, all that stuff is going to be like the word problems. They're going to be the more challenging stuff. So you have to ask yourself, hey, do you even understand the basic things? And if you don't, okay, and if you don't, you need to go back and understand the easy problems first, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to create or take a shortcut that's impossible to do in math. Okay, so here, let's just look at it this way: easy, medium, and let's say the more advanced. If you don't understand this, you can't go like, I'm just going to skip over the easy stuff. Here you are here learning something, like I'm going to skip over the easy stuff and get right to the medium stuff, and like I just don't want to waste my time here. Maybe I'll just jump right to the advanced stuff. Like, it doesn't work that way. You have to build up your skills and knowledge, and you got to go down this road. Okay, you got to go down this path. You got to do the problems that your teacher, you know, lays out for you. You know, it's all designed. Your teacher knows what they're doing. Okay, it's like, hey, there's a curriculum, there's a lesson plan, there's a way to teach this stuff. You got to understand this before you can get to this, and then do really well with this. Okay, so if you're struggling somewhere over here in the medium or more advanced, be like, how am I doing with the more basic stuff? All right, I think I've kind of hit that topic enough. So let me give you the last main idea here. And this is really good, helpful thought. And a lot of it is kind of a common sense. Is an example problem. All right, what am I talking about here? So let's suppose that you know how to do the easy stuff, okay, but you're stuck on these problems, right? You're stuck on a math problem that is like, you know the topic, right? Let's say you know the topic. Let's say you know how to do all the easy problems, but now you're stuck in here, okay? You're like, all right, I just can't get this problem to figure out. Well, what you want to do is look for an example problem that's similar to the problem you're trying to solve, all right? So where do you find example problems? I'm talking about examples solved. Maybe I should put this here. Solved example problems. So like in your textbook, for example, it shows you here's the problem, and then it shows you how to do the steps to solve this type of problem, okay? Or in your notes, that's another huge place where you can find solved example problems, because this is what your teacher is putting on the board. Here's a problem, here's how you solve it, all the steps. So before you try to do your problem, go find an example problem that closely matches, okay? And I can tell you right now, You can find, they're there in your textbooks, they're there in your material. You can go search for stuff. You can find several solved example problems are going to be very similar to what you're trying to figure out. Okay, so once you find these example problems, these solutions and stuff, study them. Okay, like figure them out, right? Like, okay, like don't even try to do your problem until you could understand and follow along with the solutions to these example problems. So again, start with your notes. Okay, look at your textbook, go online, just, you know, like understand, take the time to understand how one or two of these example problems are solved, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now you can do whatever 2, 3, 4, 5 type of problems in at this with this specific topic that you're studying. Okay, so I can tell you right now, if you follow these kind of like 4 steps, you're going to be able to solve most problems that you're going to encounter. Not maybe every single one, all right? So especially with more advanced stuff, or maybe there is one problem here or there that you don't get. So what do you have, like what do you do in those situations, okay? So, you know, that's a question to you. Like, what happens if you simply can't solve your problem? And this is kind of more directed towards you doing your homework, right? Well, you're supposed to ask your teacher questions, okay? So the following day when you turn in your homework, what you want to do is, hey, teacher, I didn't understand this problem, okay? Can you go over it? And then guess what? They're going to go over it. Now, what should you do when they go over it? You shouldn't just watch. This is the worst mistake that students do. Here, let me write this down. They think that watching math, okay, like if I was to do a math problem, solve something, they think that watching math is equal to learning, okay? Learning math, right? This is absolutely false, okay? Because you think about it, you're in math class, you're seeing your teacher do math all day long, okay? Unless you do the problems, you can't just watch. You have to do the problem, okay? So when your teacher explains something, you need to put this into your notes, and then you should try that problem by yourself. So it takes effort, okay, to get better at math. But I strongly suggest that you shouldn't let yourself off the hook, okay? I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but if you are not creating a new, better track record for yourself in math, it's because you're not putting enough effort in, okay? You're going to have to work as hard as it takes to improve your track record. But guess what? Once you start getting momentum going and you start developing new habits and a kind of a new mental attitude, then this is going to be kind of like your standard operating procedure. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to do my homework problem. All right, let me see. I make sure I know what the topic is. I got my notes. All right, and I got the easy problems. All right, okay, I'm stuck here. Let me go find a problem that's similar to that problem. Okay, I'm going to do that. Oh, I still can't figure this one out. I'm going to ask my teacher about that, and then I'm going to write that down on my notes. Then you're going to do really well, okay? Not only in math, but in all your other topics as well, okay? Whatever else you're studying out there, and whatever you might be studying in life, okay? So remember, this video is about learning math, how to solve a math problem, but I could tell you right now, we could just take the word math out, how to solve problems. My background, okay, of course, I'm a middle and high school math teacher, degree in math, master's degree, all that stuff, but I've done other things outside of mathematics, okay? I was in engineering, I was in the military for a long time, so I can tell you right now, I have a lot of life experience and things outside of the classroom, in life in general, okay? And you have to learn how to solve problems. Really, this is not so far from a good formula to follow just to solve any kind of problem that you might be studying. All right, so let's go and wrap this up. So again, if you think you like my teaching style, now I didn't really go through a specific math problem because math is too gigantic of a subject, right? I could have done algebra, geometry, you know, fractions, everything else. But if you want to see a lot more of my actual math instruction on various topics, I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I think at this time I have like well over 650 plus videos, have a lot of content, definitely help you out. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description of this video to my math learning program. That's where I have my best work. So you can go ahead and check out, maybe you can find the course that you're taking. I may have that course there. It's a good chance that I might, because I have a huge library of math courses. Hey, if you enjoyed this video and it was helpful, definitely appreciate a thumbs up and leave me some feedback. You know, was this helpful? You know, or maybe your problem, maybe you've been doing this. Okay, maybe you've been like, yeah, I've been kind of following this problem and things are still not working. And you know what? I've worked with a lot of students who have followed all the techniques and all the kind of strategies that I've worked with, and they still, you know, have challenges in math. So in those situations, what do? Well, you're going to have to work harder, and you're going to have to just seek out people that can really help you out. You know, and listen, I'm going to say this one other thing too. There are genuine, situations or scenarios where someone really does have a tough time. Like for me, I'll be honest with you, I'm a terrible speller. My dad had dyslexia. If you don't know what that is, it's where you spell things backwards. I have a sister who's dyslexic, and guess what? They're not gonna. My dad and my sister, and I think I might have a little bit of it. And I'm just making an honest confession. I'm not gonna be winning any spelling bees anytime soon. Okay, and then there's other folks out there who have some, maybe like a learning disorder, I hate to use that word, or some sort of challenge that makes it more difficult to learn math, or to understand more abstract things. So yes, there are scenarios like that, but I'll tell you right now, there's always room for improvement. There's always room for improvement, and that's what I'm talking about is, hey, you might be at this level, but let's see if we can get you to this level. And that might be your personal, I don't want to say your personal best, but that's going to be something that you can really be satisfied with. Okay, so enough being said. Again, I hope this video really helped you out. Thank you for sticking around and sharing your time with me. I wish you all the best and have a great day.